Hey, what's up? What's going on, guys? Hey, man, so I just want to give you guys a quick little recap. I went back at it again tonight. Let me see. I went to that CVS by my house. I went to another CVS. I went to a Dollar Tree. And I went to another CVS. So, I'm just going to be up front. I didn't find anything today. But I'm going to tell you guys something that I noticed, something that I learned, and maybe another thing that I happen to notice. Okay, the first thing that I learned was I went to this first CVS, right? And I walk up and I go to the hanger and I'm actually seeing packs of baseball, man. Topps Update, Heritage. And I'm like, oh man, I don't think I've ever actually seen anything hanging on this hanger right here. And so I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a huge baseball fan. Might as well leave that to somebody else who might enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? So then I go to the cashier and I ask her and I say, hey, is there any chance that you guys might have any more sports cards? And sometimes I say, or Pokemon cards, because I don't know what it is, because when they hear Pokemon cards, like somehow that seems to like get their attention. Maybe you guys have noticed that. But anyways, so she's like, oh, I don't know. Well, did you check the hanger? And I'm like, yeah, I did, but that's only baseball. And she's like, okay, let me go check over here in this section. And guess what I noticed, guys? MJ Holdings box. And I was like, what? I was like, oh my gosh. She's like, oh, you mean like these? And she starts reaching in it. And, you know, my heart starts beating like, bum, 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 bum. And she started taking all these packs, but it was all baseball. It was all Topps and more Heritage. I was like, man, if someone likes Heritage or Topps Update, they need to be at this store. Excuse me. So that's what I noticed there. I do think I remember one of the workers at a CVS said, oh, it's a vendor. But I always was like, is that true? But I saw the box, the MJ Holdings box there. So that was interesting. I thought that was interesting. So that's the first thing I learned, is that a CVS has a contract with MJ Holdings as the vendor. But it's not like a Target where the vendor actually comes and puts stuff on the shelf. You know, it's up to the employees at the CVS. So that's what I noticed. Second store, little recap there. Second store, go check the toy section, nothing. Go to the front, ask the cashier. She says, oh no, we don't have anything. Haven't been getting anything in a while. You know, but here's the thing with that, and I think I might have mentioned this before, but when someone says we haven't been getting anything in a while, you know, that may not be 100% accurate, because that last time it was a Sunday and I got like 12 packs of the Absolute Football. I went back the next day because I was just like, I want to see what happens if I ask. I know I bought like a bunch of cards the day before, and so it was a different cashier worker, and I said, hey, do you have any sports cards? And you know what she said? We haven't been getting any. We have not been getting any. And I'm like, well, in my mind, I'm like, well, you guys just had some, but I bought it all. You know, so if someone says we haven't been getting anything, that may not be accurate. But anyways, that's pretty much it. So then I went to the Dollar Tree, right? Because I've been hearing comments, and you guys have been adding comments on some of my videos saying, hey man, Cdub, like, man, I just got some Donruss basketball at the Dollar Tree. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, let me go check this Dollar Tree out. Walk in. I was gonna go to the toy section, but then I'm like, let me just ask the person up here. So I asked her, and she's like, oh yeah, all our cards are gonna be on that back wall over there. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, your cards are gonna be on the back wall? And I was like thinking, maybe she thought I meant greeting cards. Anyway, so I walk over there, nothing. I walk in, I see another worker, and I was like, excuse me, do you guys sell sports cards? She's like, well, we do, but they're all the way in the front of the store over on that side. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, I just asked, you know, the lady over here, you know, and she's told me they're back here, and she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, well, she's new. And I'm not kidding. That's what she said. I was like, okay. And I'm like, well, can you tell me where they might be? And she's like, oh, they're in the front. See those balloons over there? And I'm like, yeah, I can go. And she's like, oh, I can show you. So I was like, okay, cool. So we walk all the way over there. And sure enough, there's a box, a cardboard box that says Panini on it. I'm like, wow, how many times have I been to this Dollar Tree and I never knew there was a box that said panini on it, and it was empty. But hey, you know, anything that I could. Oh man, one more thing that I learned, guys. Man, I hope you're still with me. We're at about 5 minutes here in the video. Maybe about 5 minutes, 20 seconds. Man, I walked into that Dollar Tree, and I'm not kidding. I think all Dollar Trees smell the same. There's a weird smell. This might sound weird, but I'm like, I smelled that before. I'm like, oh yeah, it was the other Dollar Tree. So anyways, hey, have you guys ever noticed, like, you're driving around, like maybe a new area, and you see like a Target sign or a Rite Aid, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, you start getting pumped up just because you saw a Target sign or a Rite Aid? I mean, come on, man. Come on. Anyways, hey, that's it, guys. That's it for now. I'm pretty tired. It was a good weekend, man. Great weekend. Got that Kobe card. At the card show. I haven't been to a card show in forever. So that was pretty exciting, guys. And I'm looking forward to going to the next one. I'll probably be going next month. So that is it for now. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. And Cdub's out, baby. Let's go.